Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications.
Leaders from across Nigeria and the Niger Delta, including Delta State Governor, Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori, and the Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, have called on leaders of thought and the younger generation to imbibe the virtues and values that the late Chief Dr. Edwin Kiagbodo Clark stood for throughout his lifetime. They described Pa Clark as a man of truth and courage who was fearless in his advocacy for a fair and just Nigeria where everyone, regardless of background or affiliation, could live and thrive. Governor Oborevwori and Dr. Ogbuku made these remarks last week as leaders from all walks of life gathered in Kiagbodo, Delta State, to bid farewell to the elder statesman.
Chief Dr. Senator Edwin Clark, OFR-CON, was indeed an enigma, a man whose legacy will be remembered for generations to come by Nigerians, the Niger Delta people, and especially the Ijaw nation. He will be remembered as one who led a life committed to the unending struggle for a better and more equitable Nigeria. From his youthful days through his years in public service and right up until his final moments, Chief Clark remained a tireless advocate for justice, equity, and fairness. These values formed the center of reflections during his burial and final interment last week in his hometown of Kiagbodo, Burutu local government area of Delta State, where leaders including former President Goodluck Jonathan and his wife, Senate President Godswill Akpabio, Secretary to the Government of the Federation George Akume, governors, ministers and several federal and state legislators from the Niger Delta region gathered to pay their last respect.
Was not just a father, leader and veteran. He was an extraordinary human being, the pillar of our nation, an audacious voice for the voiceless, and an unflinching defender of justice, minority rights, and national unity.
Sir Edwin Kiagbodo Clark, his life was a long and purposeful journey, one that saw him rise from the creeks of the Niger Delta to the commanding heights of national influence. The memory of Pa Clark will never cease from Nigerian history.
Many generations will be proud of his efforts, service and contributions to national prosperity and stability. We are grateful that his service and legacy will continue to inspire all of us.
Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori, speaking at the burial ceremony, eulogized the late Chief Clark for his exemplary leadership and unwavering dedication to the service of Nigeria.
The late Pa Clark was a perfect example of a life lived in the service of humanity. So we are gathered here today not to mourn, but to celebrate the impactful life that he lived and the legacy he left behind. As we bid him farewell, it is important that we all take time to reflect on some of the legacies of this illustrious Delta and a great Nigerian patriot.
For the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, who spoke to Inside the Niger Delta, the late elder statesman was a towering figure who dedicated his lifetime to the pursuit of justice, equity and the development of the Niger Delta region and the progress of Nigeria as a whole.
He stood for national unity, and that is what every young generation should follow. I believe that is the legacy he has left behind, the unity of Nigeria. He has supported governments to succeed. He was also a pillar to various administrations in this country. So for those of us who are still behind, we know that it's a very, very big feat for us to feel
Chief Clark is survived by his children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. His final interment in Kiagbodo marked the conclusion of a carefully curated 12-day funeral program, which began on Wednesday, May 7. The events included a memorial lecture and tribute, a valedictory session at the Senate and several other activities held across rivers, Bayelsa and Delta states to honor his legacy.
Inside the Niger Delta,